Oh, you're recording. Hi. It's Sunday, the 21st. I was bummed out I could not go to the party yesterday because my uterus decided it was time. I knew it was coming because that's the one thing I like now that my body's used to the medicine. I kind of know when everything's going to happen. I kind of hoped it would hold off for a day. But, you know, the uterus wants to do what the uterus wants to do. And it was just not pretty. It hasn't been pretty today. I've been in the bathroom numerous times. But nowhere near like it used to be. And, so, just tired. Makes me tired. But Dad went to the party last night and they had a good time. One of the people who were supposed to be there weren't. They ended up in the hospital having their baby. And they did not find out what it was before. And it would be Larry and Joni's great nephew. They had a boy. Their nephew had a son. So, that was good news. I haven't heard what his name is yet. What are you crying for? Heidi's down here whining at my feet. She was in, and she was up in my window looking out. I took a picture of her on Instagram, and then Dad took her outside for a while, and then she wanted to come back in, and now she's in here crying because Dad's out there. She's never happy. The humper has started his yard work. Well, the tractor's battery was dead because it hadn't been started all winter, so he hooked it up to his charger, and he's like, if it don't work, I'm just going over to Rural King and buying me a new one. They're on sale. But he went out there and it started right up after it charged for a little while, and he mowed some of the backyard. I think some of it's too wet. What, Bubby? Hi-ho. You're okay. Now I hear him out there with his leaf blower. Who knows what all he's doing out there. He wanted to go out early this morning, but it was too cold. So I heated up the rest of our chicken and pasta stuff I made the other day. We had some lunch and I did the dishes. And he rested for a little bit, and then I think he went out about 2. No, it was like 1. It's like 1. It's now 4. So, and I've been holding down my bed. That's my day. I did do the dishes. So, I did accomplish something. Yesterday, while he was gone, what did I do? I watched the movie The Amazing Spider-Man with that Garfield guy. I hadn't watched it before. I had recorded it off Stars. It wasn't bad. I don't like the new Spider-Man suit. Not a big fan of it. It reminds me of those rubber balls we used to play with in school. I just don't like it. What else do I have to say? This time of year is always a very melancholy time of year because April was just a crappy month in 2008, as you all know, with my mom. Some of you new subscribers, my mom was sick pretty much the whole month of April. We were at the hospital in 2008. And today, let's see, the 21st, this was just 3 days before she died. And we were arguing with Chicago Hospital to take her because that's where her transplant team was. But they had refused her a few days before because she still had quite a bit of infection in her body. And they knew they could not do any sort of transplant with infection in there, so they didn't want to bring her over because they couldn't do anything. But finally, let's see, the 21st, she passed away on the 24th. It was on the 22nd, that evening, that our hospital here talked to them again, and we got the word. I remember my dad and my mom's from Barb coming in saying they're taking her. They're transferring her over to Chicago tonight. And we were so excited. Because I'm like, oh, yay, because maybe they can fix her. And they took her they took her over there late in the evening. And the next morning, Dad went to Chicago to stay with my mom's cousins. And I remember the one doctor calling here from the transplant team after that first night, and she was the head of my mom's transplant team. She's a very nice lady. She's like, I'm not gonna lie to you. She said, your mom's not in good shape. We're trying to get her strong enough for a transplant. We're doing everything we can to get her strong enough. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And because that was the day Dad was driving over there, because she'd called here to talk to Dad, and I'm like, he's on his way to you right now. And then the 24th, I'd gone to work waiting to hear from Dad, and I just remember him calling and couldn't talk, and my cousin took the phone and said, you need to come, your mom did not have a good night. And I called. My Uncle Joe was going to go with me because he didn't want me to go by myself, but he was sick. He died 6 months later after my mom, but he was going to ride to Chicago. He had cancer. But my cousin Roy decided to ride with me. And I remember coming home from work. This is before I had a smartphone. So I got online, printed me out a map of how to get from my house to my cousin's house. I lived in the first, like a suburb right outside the city. And I went and picked up Roy, and it was like a blur. I just remember getting to my cousin's, parking, going in, hugging them all, getting Dad, and then we had got my mom's Trailblazer, and Roy drove us to the city. I mean, right downtown. There goes the humper, out on his mower. I remember we were on the top of this parking garage, like on the 10th floor. Excuse me. And just going into that hospital and going into the ICU and being taken to the room with this big table full of doctors. It was the team, the transplant team. And it was kind of just, it was crazy. It was a crazy day. And I remember going down to see Mom, but it wasn't my mom. It was not pretty at all. And sitting there talking to them people, and they were waiting for one particular, I probably talked about this before, but usually this time of year I talk about it, I can't help it. I remember they were waiting for one particular doctor to come in, and there was a bunch of them. I was sitting on the side of the table, and there was a bunch of them on that side of the table, and there was one standing here at the end next to me. And I remember a doctor coming in. He was a gastroenterologist, and every time I hear that word, I cringe. And he came in, and he whispered to the doctor, standing there, and I just saw the air come out of that doctor, and he put his head down and shook his head, and I'm like, oh, this is not good. And the doctor said, it is not good. The gastroenterologist just finished his tests. He scoped the inside of my mom, and her stomach was dead already. Her intestines were dying. She was dying from the inside out, and there's nothing they could do. And I looked at Dad, and I looked at the doctors. I said, unplug her. I knew I had to make the decision because I knew Dad couldn't say it. And I said, unplug her. And I'm thankful that it took less than a half an hour for her to pass away, because I can't imagine her lingering on for days and days and days. Ugh. For people who have to go through that, I feel for you. And, yeah. And then you're trying to make all the calls from the hospital, trying to call the funeral home. I remember calling our funeral home here, and he's known us for years, and he's like, your mom, what happened? Because he had no idea Mom was sick, and he was shocked, and having to call Grandma. Oh, how do you call someone and tell them their daughter, their child, their first child, the child that made them a mom, just passed away? My Uncle Jeff, who was in Chicago in a meeting at that time, I called him. I said, don't come to the hospital, Mom passed. I said, head to Grandma's house. Go to Grandma. And I called Kathy, and I said, my mom's sister, I said, go to Grandma's house. And it was just an experience, let me say. I don't even know why I'm talking about it right now. Maybe because I need to. I don't know. Tomorrow, any of you people who pray, or good thoughts, or good vibes, or just energy to my cousin, tomorrow he's having his open heart surgery. He's 15 years old. His name is Rudy. and they're probably in Ann Arbor by now. They're checking in the hospital today, and he has surgery at 7:30 in the morning. So, I know he's nervous, as anybody would be. So, good thoughts to him. This will be his 4th open heart surgery. He's a tough kid. He is a tough kid. He's been through a lot, and I'm sure he'll be just fine. What else I got to babble about? There goes the humper. It's still not very warm outside. It's only like 45 out there. I know his face has to be chilly. I had my window open a ways for a while because Heidi wanted to sit in the windowsill. But then I was laying there reading, and I had to shut it down to just a little bit because it was getting chilly. It's getting cold. Dad leaves in a few days, and I was going to record that dessert I want to make that I have everything for while he was gone, but I realized I can't because I'm sending the camera with him on his trip. Because, you know, I want to see him and 2 dogs and Carol and a parrot in a car traveling. I have to. And I made him take the camera last night to the party. I don't know what he filmed. I haven't looked. Sitting all weird. I don't know. I look like poo. I'm not going to have anything cut off my hair at all except split ends if need be. I am very lucky to have healthy hair as much crap as I've put my hair through. I'm surprised my hair just now broke off and said, screw you, you're going to be bald. But, nose itches. I'm going to try to let it grow. I want to see how long. Last time I had it cut was October. So I want to see if I can go a whole year to October. Or longer, I don't know. We'll see how long I can go. I used to have hair like way down to here. Boob level. Because my boobs are way down here, you know. I still have that. No, I don't. I don't know whatever happened to that hair. But, yeah. I used to have long hair. And I had a boyfriend who loved it. And then when we broke up, I cut that off. I don't know, it was defiance, like, screw him! My friend went with me, and after I had it cut off, we went out for drinks because I needed a drink. But then after, it was so much easier to take care of him. I'm like, oh, this is so much easier. I'm just a babbling fool. I'm going to actually go lay down again and maybe turn on the TV and see what's on. Yeah. I didn't sleep hardly. My gut kept hurting, so I was tossing and turning, and then I'd read. Of course I'm reading something. I'm always reading something. And, oh, man. Tonight's my last night of placebo medicine, and tomorrow I start my meds. Yes! Alright, I'm done now. I just zoned out, could you tell? Did you see me go away there for a minute? I'll see you all later. See you, bye.